Hello and welcome back to 18 WJTS in.form. Today we're going to get a little techie again. We've got our wonderful friends from Matrix Integration back. We've got a different lovely face here today. We are actually visiting with Mark Anselment, a client advocate from Matrix Integration. So welcome to the in.form studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we definitely have a lot to talk about, but specifically, there's a lot of different ways you could talk about technology, and we want to make it as user-friendly to our audience as possible. But specifically today, we kind of want to talk about cybersecurity and what problems are arising from this issue of not having enough protection and all that stuff. So if you would explain that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, cybersecurity is an increasing threat across the board, and what we've seen is it become more common year after year. And what we really encourage our businesses and our clients to do is prepare themselves for these cyber attacks, where you have cyber criminals that basically try to attack you and get your money.
Yeah. So not only is there methods that people should take to protect their personal technology, but small businesses and big businesses alike deal with these issues. It's not just person or business, it's all throughout. You should be a little more cautious about what technology presence you have, what kind of secure measures you're taking on that. Something as simple as having a lock screen on your phone is a way to help with cybersecurity, because if someone grabs your phone and you don't want them in there, that's going to be the first offense. So yep. Cybersecurity is that little peace of mind that may be a little irritating at times, but it's definitely steps to help maintain all of the stuff you don't want out on the web or out in the wrong hands, per se.
Certainly.
Yeah. So even though cyber attacks don't necessarily make headlines, or there's been so many stories about people getting scammed out of their money or just losing things on the phone and stuff, but specifically for cybersecurity, why are we not hearing more about that these days versus 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think the big issue there is small businesses are ever increasingly the targets, and there's three main reasons really why criminals go after small businesses. Number one, small businesses are oftentimes more focused on their day-to-day operations. They may not even have a budget for cybersecurity. Secondly, I think oftentimes small businesses don't think that they are targets. They think that criminals are going to go after the big bucks and large corporations, and that's so they're safe. And that's certainly not the case. They're actually more targeted than larger businesses. And that kind of brings me to the third point of, the reason for that is criminals see small businesses as more likely to have to pay the ransom because they don't have a budget or a plan in place, to recover their data. So in order to get it back, they have to pay the ransom.
Yeah, that's kind of scary to think about. And as a consumer myself, I always have the notion in my head that, oh, I don't have enough money in the bank. They wouldn't want to just take my money out of there anyways. But it's the same truth for individuals as small businesses. Is if you can get enough of the small guys and get them to give money or pay ransom money, however, it can become a big issue in your individual life or small business alike. We try to, again, just map out that this is, we say small business, but we try to map out that it could apply to anything related to cybersecurity. So, this problem is universal, and people being aware of it is super important, because it's, again, just highlighting that it's so prevalent that it's not even in the newspapers, even on the news anymore, because it's a way of life now, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
So how can people, either individuals or small business owners who are wanting to look into their records and whatnot, how do we know if or indicate when a cyber attack kind of happens, or if there's some type of fishy behavior going on? Where can we kind of look for that?
That's another great question. Basically knowing some of the signs and some of the things to look out for is key. You can certainly, if you realize any suspicious activity in your financial accounts or anything like that, that's a big red flag. Looking out for suspicious emails or even suspicious things in your emails, big bolded caps or things marked with exclamation points.
I don't know how frequently I've told my dad, like, if it has the name and you can't see the picture and they're trying to get you to download this coupon to save on a free lawnmower or something, it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Don't click on it, just delete it. So it's the small things you wouldn't think would be most eye-catching that people don't pay attention to because they think it's something else. So being aware of stuff like that for sure. Yeah.
I mean, certainly on the individual basis, those are certain things to look out for. From a business standpoint, sometimes we have clients that report their clients coming to them and reporting suspicious activity. So, just being on the lookout and knowing it's a real thing and they're trying to get your money is important.
Yeah, I don't know how many times, like, again, in a personal example or consumer example, like those accounts that you haven't logged into for a while for a certain website or a certain app, and they're like, you need to reset your password. The company itself is sending you that because someone's trying to get in.
Yeah.
And you get that a lot more frequently when you're signed up for more things and you've got X, Y, and Z accounts for all these stuff. So being able to maintain that, hey, something a little odd's happening, I should probably check it out instead of ignoring it is also a super big indicator that, everyone should look out for, especially small businesses, because small businesses are built on such dedication and such a small little margin, because that's what a small business is. So if it could be disastrous. That's all I can really think of. It's hard to think, but I would not want it to happen to anyone with a small business for sure. So with this, it's weird because we're kind of talking about a non-tangible thing of theft online or theft in technology, and it's hard for people to visualize or think about it. But do you know what are some of the most common cyber attack examples that you guys kind of see?
Yeah. I think it's 96% of all cyber attacks come via email.
Really?
Through what they call phishing attacks. And basically that's where they send a malicious email to you to try and trick you into, like you said earlier, click on something or provide sensitive information or reset your password. Another method that they try to get you is through spyware and malware, where they try to get you to download an attachment or download a link, and then that gives them access to your sensitive data on your machine. So those are two of the biggest ones. And then once that happens, then you have ransomware, where they basically can encrypt your data and say, we're not giving your data back until you give us X amount of dollars.
Yes, and in the physical sense of ransom, it is literally like, we're going to put a pause on everything that you deal with on a daily basis. If you don't give us money, we're not going to give it back.
That's exactly.
And that's terrifying.
It is.
Especially when you don't see your perpetrator because they're online or over the phone or something like that. It can be very detrimental. So knowing kind of how to combat that is super important. Cannot express that enough. And we are in the 21st century, and luckily we have individuals like Matrix who are constantly providing various technology to help combat against these threats, because there's so many threats now. What kind of technology can we kind of look at, or what can we do to help prevent against cyber attacks?
There's certainly a couple of things that you can do from a business standpoint and an end user standpoint. But we always like to say to pair education with technology. And education is key. It's the most important. Being able to educate your end users on what to look out for. Then accompanying that with technology practices in place. And there's certain things that you can do from an individual standpoint, like making sure that your latest computer version's up to date, making sure that you're on the lookout for any suspicious activity. But then there's other solutions that, we can recommend or we can provide that also help protect against that stuff, like email security, backups of your data, very important. We also really encourage security awareness training. We said educate your users. Well, how do we educate our users? We actually provide a program where we will send out an educational video. It's like a 5-minute clip once a month, basically just giving, each month's different, but it'll tell you these are certain ways, things to look out for. And then the next month we'll actually send out a phishing email, like a fake one.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that is you're hoping that none of your end users click it, but if they do, it just puts up a message, hey, you've
little slap on the wrist. Yep. Be like, hey, don't be like Tim. He did the bad thing, and that's what we're telling you not to do.
So, and the nice thing there is you get reports, of who's watching the videos, who's not. So it's a good way to really educate your end users on what to look out for.
In bite-sized chunks, because nobody has time for hour-long sessions anymore. Like, we just need a little bit and go, and we'll be a little more cautious next time. That's definitely good, and kind of leads me into what I was wanting to ask next. If you'd give a little bit of information about what matrix integration does. And I mean, it was news to me when I first sat down with Tim Pritchett not too long ago. You guys are not just in Southern Indiana. You're in a few different areas. So tell us about Matrix.
Yeah, we're a managed solutions provider. Basically, what we do is, we are willing to come in and manage your technology environment and be your IT department. So we have a team of engineers and client advocates that help guide and direct you and keeping you on the newest technology advances, and recommend and provide those solutions for our clients.
Yeah, and matrix integration was in our news recently with a certain award that got bestowed upon you as well, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's really huge for Matrix to be able to consider ourselves SOC 2 compliant. And basically what that is, it's that you are recognized as an organization that not only protects their data or our data, but also protects and secures our clients' data.
That is awesome. I, of course, SOC 2 did not know what that was at all, but being able to say, hey, we are certified as like the good guys, you should come with us, and we know you guys do fantastic work. I mean, that's why you have so many different branches in God knows where. I know there's around. I definitely don't remember all the locations, but that's why Matrix is small business that is growing into a bigger thing, because, again, cybersecurity, just for one of the many examples, is a big deal for the individual consumer and small guys and the big guys all alike. So Matrix is definitely one of those things that you need to learn more about, which would lead me to another question, which is, what is the best way to get a hold of Matrix? I know you primarily work business to business, correct? So what's the best way for businesses to kind of learn more or reach out to you guys?
Yeah. I always recommend going to our website, www.matrixintegration.com. We provide a lot of information on there. You can actually sign up for a free security assessment where we'll come out and do a security assessment and go through that with you to identify some of your weak areas and recommend some things that you can do to beef up in those areas.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I was just thinking while you were explaining that, like, people take drastic steps. You lock your car whenever you leave it out somewhere. You've got the electronic doorbells to make sure nobody gets into your house with the security system attached and all that stuff. Those are all physical things, and that's great and all, but Matrix is there for what happens inside your phone, inside your computers, and inside the businesses.
Yeah, the nice thing about Matrix is we offer a variety of solutions for all sizes, big and small. So, kind of like you said, you can lock your door, or you can have a beefed up security system. We offer solutions that can accommodate all budgets.
Which is fantastic. I am a budget-friendly person myself, so hearing that there's so many different options and finding the Goldilocks budget for you is definitely something I know small businesses strive on. So All great things. Mark, is there anything else you want to touch on before we kind of wrap up today?
No, I appreciate you having me. And if you're interested in learning more about what matrix integration can do for you, I strongly encourage you to go out to our website.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Your first time on the in.form set. Hopefully it wasn't too painful.
No, it was fun.
Well, awesome. Thank you again to Mark, and then, of course, Matrix Integration for allowing him to share information with us. It's been a wonderful resource. We were kind of talking about this off camera. We try to dumb it down in a way that people understand, but this is something that's not going away. It's going to be more common knowledge as we continually advance our technology. So learning it in little bits or a bunch at a time, whatever works for everybody, we are just trying to keep everybody safe, virtually and otherwise. And so this has been your 18 WJTS in.form program, where we are local people watching local people.